What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. So check this out. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just 1,000% off the tracks at this point, all right? They have lost the plot, and it's going to take a miracle to get them back on track. You know, forget about trying to get back to what the Infinity Saga was, all right? The first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Infinity Saga, forget that. They just gotta tell like competent stories and interesting stories that fans even want to check out once, much less going back to the theaters a whole bunch of times. I don't think that we are anywhere in that territory when it comes to Marvel. Right now, you see, they're talking about the Marvels. This is on Bounding into Comics. Predicted to have one of, if not the worst, box office grosses for the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever. All right. And they're basically saying like, yeah, this thing's not going to make any money whatsoever. And I've already done a video about that. I'll link that above. But that's not all, okay? Because things have just been really shaky and really bad with Marvel for a very long time. And we talked about this article as well, how Daredevil is hitting the reset button as Marvel overhauls its TV business. Yeah, so not only are they resetting Daredevil with the reset button, but they're overhauling everything with television. Everything all together. They're getting rid of it. And so you really start to think, like, what's going on in these people's heads where they've been screwing up things this badly, all right? This badly, because check this next headline out. Yeah, this is the stupidity and the complete blindness of Marvel, all right? We put out a banger. Marvel was shocked by Ant-Man 3 negative reviews report. Let me show you this real quick. Yeah, Marvel Studios thought Quantumania was gold. They thought they was doing something with Quantumania. Yeah, here's the quote. The general consensus among the Marvel higher-ups was that they felt like they had something good. Yeah, Marvel Studios is aware of what's happening to their brand. My understanding, having talked to some people, is that Quantumania really shook them, and I'm sure Secret Invasion shook them further. But Quantumania really shook them because they felt like they had something good, because they all internally thought everyone's gonna love this, and then they put it out, and people didn't. And then they were like, oh no, our internal barometer is not attuned to what people want anymore. No kidding, Marvel. Man, we've been telling y'all this for a minute. With Quantumania, they were like, we put out a banger. And then that's not how a lot of people felt. Hardly anybody felt that, all right? And then the recent releases have Marvel Studios shaken. Yeah, see, they should have been shaken up way before these recent releases. And see, that brings up a question that I have. And I want everybody out there to think about this. Answer the question. Leave it in the comments. At what point in time did you know, all right, this thing is off the tracks, okay? At what point in time? Yeah, they had the wokeness. I get that. All of that bad writing, I get that too, all right? The stuff that we were talking about on Daredevil, all right? All of this unorganized chaos that was going on in the TV side of things, okay? But what was the moment? What was the singular moment? What was the movie? What was the TV show? What was the episode? What was the situation? Where did it just fly completely off the rails? And it's like, oh, wow, yeah, okay, I'm done. I'm checked out. You know, mentally, emotionally, I'm finished, okay? I'm going to show you mine. This is my moment right here.
Oh. Is that?
What?
Infinity Stones?
How do you have these?
Oh, we actually got a lot of those. Yeah, some of the guys use them as paperweights. Some of them.
You see, somebody reminded me of that scene on my last video, one of my last videos. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of when I like mentally checked out. I had that conversation with a buddy of mine and we talk about it. And it's like, yeah, you know, once they said, oh, these little Infinity Stones, there's some paperweights, you know. I think a lot of people were just like, you know, what the hell is this? The last 3 phases of Marvel, okay? The last 3 phases, what we've been watching for all of these 21, 22, 23 films, all right? The biggest superhero movie of all time was all about the Infinity Stones. And you just chuck them away like a throwaway joke, all right? It was similar to what they did with you know who. It was that kind of feeling, right? It's like, oh, okay, I can just safely ignore all of this crap because this is how you're treating what was a pivotal moment for all of us, all right? When we saw everybody getting snapped away and it's like, oh shit, man, this was huge, all right? But yeah, I think that's when Marvel should have realized, okay, I think we've gone too far. We're using this like a throwaway joke And nah, that's not going to work for us, okay? But yeah, it's a similar situation now because now you got cats coming out saying Loki season 2 shows why Marvel's multiverse doesn't work. And it's a similar type of situation. Let's check this article out. Yeah, so this guy, he's saying basically he's still trying to make up his mind on Loki season 2. Says it's good to see Mobius and Loki back, but things got weird and not in a particularly good way. This week was supposed to contain a jaw-dropping moment in which a rogue TVA general bombed a bunch of new timelines, killing billions, if not trillions of people in those branches. I've heard some superfans comparing it to the Thanos snap in terms of the scale of destruction, but in reality, I think it just shows how little weight the multiverse carries. It's one of the reasons why I don't like multiverse and time travel. I know they did that with Endgame, and that's kind of the thing that takes Endgame down a notch. Because it's like multiverse and time travel, if you don't do it perfectly, if you don't do it absolutely perfectly, you just end up losing it, you know? I think like Back to the Future and the Terminator, the originals, I think like those are some of the only real time travel films that I really like. Okay, this is cool, I like it, you know? But then when you start getting into the sequels and then all of the other films that came under that same, you know, IP, it's just, you know, all right, this is getting dumb, okay? Because you don't really feel like the weight. It's like, oh, we can just always go back in time, or we can always just jump to another universe or whatever. And that's the problem with the multiverse. And that's what this guy is saying. In Loki, the multiverse was only spawned 2 episodes ago. These branches did not exist before 2 episodes ago. Past that, we barely visited 1 or 2 branches after that. And in this mass branch bombing, I don't think any character died we've ever met, unless you're counting infinite versions of the Avengers or everyone in the MCU, because that's how the multiverse works. But narratively, it just doesn't work. Not in the way the MCU is presenting it in Loki. There are no stakes here. You're telling me you killed trillions of people, but it's hard for that to carry any weight at all when those branches appear to be a few hours old and full of no one we actually know. I'm still unclear on how a single TVA agent could walk into a timeline and blow up an entire universe instantly, as that seems like a stretch, but whatever. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Again, it doesn't carry any weight, all right? There are no stakes here. Why do we care about this? You need stakes anytime you're dealing with any kind of storytelling. There has to be something at stake. And it doesn't appear that anything is at stake. You take the Infinity Stones, oh, they're just paperweights. Throw them away. You know? Luke Skywalker's saber that, oh, we've been looking for this saber and we've been trying to find it. We got to get it back to Luke. That throws it away. No big deal. You see, Anakin's saber, I should say. Not even Luke's saber. Anakin's saber. And you just toss it away like it's a nothing. And that's the problem. Anytime you start setting this stuff up like that and you're just throwing things away and none of the old stuff matters, then why are you even telling stories in this universe? You should be moving on, telling a story in your own universe. And that's the problem with the MCU in this particular phase, is that they're carrying over stuff from the old universe, but they've made it all inconsequential, you know? And I think that's, even if people haven't really put their heads to it, they know, well, if you can have a multiverse, if you can time travel, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness can jump all around various different multiverses, Spider-Man No Way Home, you know, even though I thought that was done very well because it was nostalgic, you know, we brought the Spider-Man and everything from other universes, so it's kind of nostalgic in a sense, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if I can just jump in and out of different universes and I can always pull, like if somebody dies in this universe, I can go get the version of that person from a different universe, bring them in, and so we continue with this character. You're losing the stakes. Nothing matters anymore, and that's the problem with the MCU right now. The Thanos snap worked because it affected characters we've known for years or even a decade. No, I don't think anyone believed that Marvel just permanently killed half its characters, but the dramatic impact of the scene and the loss was still felt. It's a culmination of years of getting to know these characters and watching them evaporate before our eyes. The TVA, meanwhile, is expecting us to mourn trillions of people we've never seen or met. That's the whole thing. None of this stuff in this multiverse saga matters. And that's where Marvel lost its way. I'm going to go and say something that I said on the EBN live stream just tonight, that Marvel would have been smarter to just go straight into the Fantastic Four or straight into X-Men. Push pause on this MCU, like the current MCU, you know, iteration, and just jump into start weaving the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in. And remember, we thought they were doing that in WandaVision when they brought in that other guy, Quicksilver, to play Wanda's brother. And it's like, oh, okay, they're about to weave this in and they're going to use some kind of weird multiverse situation. Okay, awesome. Well, let's see where they go with it. But that's not where they did it at all. It was actually very stupid. But ultimately, That's the problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as I see it right now, okay? Yeah, all of the woke stuff is a big problem, okay? All of their, yeah, we're going to go MCU. They don't know what they're doing. They're just making television shows on the fly, which is just a big, huge mistake. And I can't believe like a $1 billion company would ever do stuff like that. But nevertheless, they're doing it. But I think the biggest issue is the storytelling itself. They have dropped the ball. The multiverse is not the direction that they should have gone in at all. Again, that's my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Where did Marvel kind of fly off the rails for you? At what point in time did you think, this thing is kind of off the tracks, and I don't know if this is going to be able to get back on track at this point. This guy finishes up as such. Maybe it can work if Marvel does this big Fox X-Men crossover thing that appears to be happening, sparked by Deadpool, and perhaps making its way into the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. But I am really, really looking forward to getting out of this era, as I don't think it's been working at all. Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro. I don't think this whole situation is working at all. But you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.